The Great Awakening began like a year ago, maybe more, but in general, what's been happening on the planet is so many people are waking up to who they are. They're waking up from the massive gnosis that's been going on, the autopilot mind. A lot of things through what's been going on has revealed that maybe, the media and things that have been coming out haven't been in integrity. So it's been making people question, like, what is actually going on? And with the Great Awakening, this is a part of a shift in consciousness that's happening right now on the planet. If you feel like the Great Awakening and the shift in consciousness is happening, would you like this video? Comment below and let us know. Do you feel it? Do you feel what the rock is? Can you smell? The idea though is, what is happening on the planet right now is that there is a shift in consciousness happening. And if you look to Dolores Cannon, there's like 19 books of transcripts from Dolores Cannon. She was a hypnotherapist since the 1970s with thousands of people that have been through what is called the QHHT technique, quantum healing hypnosis technique, where their subconscious mind or their higher self comes through. And what happens is different questions are asked, and thousands of people from all over the world have said something very similar in this deep level hypnosis. They said, I came here to be a part of the shift in consciousness. I incarnated here or reincarnated here for this time on the planet. We are moving from one level of consciousness to another level of consciousness. And not just Dolores Cannon's material talks about it, something the Mayans talked about. And it's something that the law of one or the raw materials considered some of the most profound channelings of our time, with things back in the 1980s that were talked about would eventually come true in science have come to pass. And what's interesting is it talks about the harvest. Right now, the harvest is happening. The harvest is where there is, in a way, seeds that are being planted within our consciousness, where we have the ability to have these seeds planted to remember who we are, to remember that we are eternal spiritual beings having a temporary experience of being human, temporary human experience, and we're becoming aware of this. And for a long time, many of us have been in the dark. When we grow up, we're born here, we forget who we are so that we can remember who we are. And many of us that have been through a spiritual awakening chose timelines and paths that had a lot of pressure in the beginning. Which means that we had a lot of maybe childhood trauma, childhood pain, because that led to more awakening. That led to us becoming more, that pressure led to us becoming more in awareness of who we really are. And that's what's happening right now on the planet, is the Great Awakening is continuing to happen. A lot of the stuff I thought was going to happen back in 2012 when I went through my awakening is happening now. It just took like 10 years to really come to fruition. But I think the things that we have to look forward to is very powerful, very profound, but in general, it could be things such as eventually, more and more every year, first contact or becoming aware that ETs exist has been coming out into the media. This isn't just, it's no longer just conspiracy theory talk. This is actual, in the media, it says these things. People going on Joe Rogan that were whistleblowers are saying these things, and more people are realizing there's more going on than we think. And I think I've shared with you my story before, maybe you've heard, but when I went through my awakening in 2012, there was somebody that I personally know that worked for a section of, I don't know if you call it the government or whatever you want to call it, but somebody that worked at an underground base and saw things that we would think don't exist, would see, knowing 100% ETs exist. The government knows about it. Or even the people behind the government, whatever you want to call it. But back in 2012, when I talked to this person, it really opened my mind to realize there's more going on than what we're told. Because this person is someone I trust, this is someone I've known most of my life, and them explaining to me the detail of what they said, plus the detail of what I've heard by studying this material from other people who this person did not know, was very in alignment, very accurate, that there's more going on than the public knows. There are underground bases all around the planet that have different experiments going on, different corporations own it. And a lot of times they say, oh, the government, it's not the government. Sometimes it's the government. What I think happens is the government may have a form of the army that protects it, But deeper layers into it, I think it's more so private corporations that have different interests that are doing research, but the army or whatever protects it. But when I found that out back in 2012, I was in denial for a while. And part of it too is I went through a spiritual awakening in 2012 where I realized that it was very clear to me that we are eternal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences. I learned meditation and I started to feel completely different about myself and also about reality in general. And I became so fascinated with how does reality work? And I started studying different aspects of it, metaphysics, esoteric stuff, also like stuff, I guess you could say like conspiracy theories and stuff. And I became very discerning with those though. I don't think all conspiracy theories are true. I think a lot of them are exaggerated. I was actually listening to a Bashar talk recently and he was talking, somebody was asking about conspiracy theories. And he said something very interesting. One of the biggest things that people that are going really deep down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories do is they became so entrenched in that belief system that it actually feeds the negative timelines and the negative realities even more so. Because it's making the people behind the government or whatever appear to have more power than they actually have. So in a certain way, yes, there's stuff going on behind the scenes that may be hidden, but I think, and what Bashar says, maybe a third of it is true compared to what we think. It gets kind of exaggerated. So something to be aware of with this shift in consciousness happening is that there's also a shift in reality that is happening, and there's many different realities that exist. There's an infinite number of parallel realities that exist that we are constantly shifting through. And there's a general collective consciousness that we're shifting through, but even now as you look into reality, like different states have different rules. I'm now in Austin, Texas. Very different rule set than even Vegas that I was in, or even like Sedona where I was in Arizona. It's a very different rule set, very different reality, very different group of people, very different belief systems. But as we make choice and as we decide what our values are, you'll find that people end up in different cities and they're literally in their own reality bubbles. And I think sometimes what happens is people that get too entrenched in conspiracy theories, they are then in a reality bubble where it becomes confirmation bias. Whatever you type in on YouTube, you get more evidence of. So you type in evidence about the earth being flat, you will get more and more evidence of that, and it will become a confirmation bias type thing. So one thing that I encourage you to do is just to really question your own beliefs and question where's your energy going. Are you feeding positive timelines or negative timelines? I found that the more I study the conspiracy theory stuff, the more my vibration dropped, and it took me away from actually sharing content that I think helps raise people up. So awareness is powerful, but once you become aware of it, you can shift your energy. So an update on the Great Awakening is things are going to continue to fall apart so that we can rebuild and come together. And I think that the shift in consciousness we are experiencing is really only going to come to a more powerful fruition when we come together. When we come together, when we connect our energy fields together, when we do group meditations. They've proven that with the Maharishi effect, when thousands of us get together and we meditate on one intention, we can profoundly shift the crime on the planet and decrease it by like 70%. That's been proven many times again. I call it the meditation effect. Some people call it the Maharishi effect, but apparently that's only transcendental meditation, so it's a specific type of meditation. But we have done this before. We've come together. We've had 12,000 people live doing unity meditations, and I believe it has a powerful effect on the collective consciousness. There's something called the Schumann resonance, which is the energy of the planet. And anytime we do these meditations or there's global meditations that happen on the planet, it spikes the energy of the whole entire planet. And I believe that we came here to shift our consciousness, and we came here to team up together to shift our consciousness. So something I want to do soon is I want to do a live meditation where all of us come together to shift not only the collective consciousness, but also our own consciousness. When we have the intention of shifting and we team up our energy together, there's also a personal transformation that happens. If you've ever been a part of it, then you know. But we do these things called Om activations. Om activations is where we connect using the frequency of Om, and we do it all over the world, all over a whole bunch of us are going to be doing it. And we do it with the intention of bringing more light on the planet to elevate our frequency and then also the frequency of the planet. So if you want to join those, if you want to be notified then when we're doing it, go ahead and click the link below in the top of the description box. I'll alert you to the next one. This is something that I want to start doing routinely, where we do these live group activations and we transform our vibration and the planet's vibration together so that we can do what we came here to do. I believe it's our mission to do this. We came here to shift our own consciousness, plus shift the planet's consciousness. So if this is something you are excited about, let me know. Like this video and comment below, let me know. Also, join. You see somewhere to put your email. I will email you when the next one comes up. You could be a part of it. We can do this together. And I'm super excited for us to do that. So with that being said, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.